Just fixing my dice. So you have to have your dice on the highest side up or it's bad mojo. Apologize. My name is Lee. She, her vibes today, but here they is fine. And what else? We're doing afternoon tea today instead of the usual late night because, well, now that they've started the new job, late nights are very late. So I've been trying to do some more of the afternoon tea ones, and I have, it's green tea, with honey from Arizona, cut with water and lemon juice. It's not a bad mix, actually. And we are going to do Pathfinder today. So, it's going to be fun. Please say hi in the chat. I very much appreciate it. And I need to do my hair. I just shaved the sides. That can be done later. Yeah. I also have popcorn because, well, I mean, way too much of it now, so I figured I had to pop it at some point. I figured it'd be today. Alright, so those of you who've been following the stream know that I do, character creation and world building, so, and I'll fill in details in the world as we go. Like, we got days of the week, we got all sorts of stuff going on. So I have two distinctive tracks that I work with. One is Warhammer 40k, which you might know. And the other is... This is for... Yes. Ziptech. Andre... Hang on. Oh! Yes. This is our half-orc. So, I have two. So one is Warhammer 40k. The other is a, there's two countries, Hitherland and Hyreth, and they're part of a larger continent with Nementhia, and you got, Florentia and Napolita and, Venetia to the south, and then you got, which used to be part of the Venetian Empire, but pretty much the whole continent, south of Bjornga used to be part of the, Venetian Empire. The Nementhia broke off first. Then, then there was a civil war between the northern part of the empire and the southern part of the empire. The northern part of the empire kind of did its own thing and formed, eventually split into Hitherland and Hyreth, or Hydian, depending on which language you want to speak your... and I've been working on Hyreth. Doing a lot of world building for that, and its government systems, and how the monarchy, not just how the monarchy is, but, because they have a king, but how the lower down works. So, American rule is a lot more like, say, Napolitan rule than Hitherland, which has a very strict system they put in place. Basically, all the old barons were allowed, a lot of barons who were there during the time of the kings of Napolita, back when it was part of the empire, were allowed to keep their land and power. But those who pledged loyalty, those who did not, were killed. But instead of putting someone else in their place, what the kings did was, Hyreth did, was they simply let the towns coalesce and left the towns to freehold farmers. To run the towns, they created the Magisterisme, which is a group of paladins to Abadar, who, there's an occasional clerics, but they don't, who are the ones who vote in the paladins that devote for the head, and also run the internal affairs of the Magisterisma, which is, so they have their own separate agenda. It's supposed to be a separation of powers thing. Whether that works or not is kinda. They all worship the same god, Abadar. I used the gods of Galarion because when this first started, it started with a Pathfinder campaign, and it went from there. So I used the gods of Galarion, but worked my own world around it, and so we still have the gods of Galarion. If I ever want to do anything with this world other than just stream about it on Twitch, we're going to have problems with copyright, but for now, we have the same gods. And my mic should be fine. You will tell me, yes, in the chat if my video or audio seems off. It looks slightly bizarre, like on the what was the mic? Hang on, let me try that. I don't know if that's doing anything. But it might just be the internet connection. Hopefully you can hear me. Hang on one second. Actually, I can test that. I can hear me. That if you heard the echo, that was me playing my own audio. Unmuting my channel so that I could hear what I was saying, and it sounds pretty good to me, so that works. Yeah, so we have our days of the week, which ones are set aside for civic duties, which ones are, it's a 5-day week, with the third one set aside as a kind of, let's say the king holds court in the capital, so that's where all the other Magisterisma members hold court in the various smaller cities and towns in other parts of the country. So the head of this organization is a half-orc. We rolled for it, and it's going to be interesting, because we rolled on a D10 to try to buff up the chance of him being human, because it seemed more likely, but he's still ended up a half-orc, so you know what? We're going to go with it. And usually when I roll for this, I roll on a D8, and I have one side represent every race. I have a chart I use, actually. I'll show you the chart. Kind of... Hey, stop that. Sorry. My fish is being persnickety, but you know what? That would be McFenner. He sits... His bowl is right next to my my setup, so he's my little streaming buddy. Those are my boots. There we go. That's a better view of the dice tray. Okay. Oh, yes. Keep noticing that my dice are not on the highest side up, and then fixing that because it's important. Oh, those are D4s. Okay. But what I was going to show you was that chart. This is the chart I usually roll on for determining race, or species, actually, more accurately. But I decided to roll it with a D10, add a couple extra chances for, 2 extra chances for him being human. He is human, and he is he. I actually rolled for that as well. I have another chart. I'll show you that as well. And This is one of my favorite charts I've ever created. That chart. And he is cis male, but he is bisexual. So I don't know if he has a lover or anything. Maybe I'll give him one. Or a cute boy who didn't love him back or something. You could always have fun stuff like that. But for now, we got a strength 18, dexterity 13, constitution 13, intelligence 10, wisdom 16, charisma 18. This is with the bonuses applied for, he's a level 20 paladin, so it's with the +2 bonus for, to one stat for him being half human, and the, all the stat increases for level ups. So in that case, he gets 10 feats. I don't think being a paladin gets extra feats, but I can check. If so, yeah. He's a level 20 paladin. We're going whole hog with this guy. It's gonna be fun. So, it's math. Whoop. Okay. This is the Pathfinder 1st Edition core rulebook. So, a little bit of history time for those of you who don't know. Back when Dungeons and Dragons 1st Edition, not 1st Edition, 4th edition came out, a lot of people really didn't like it. And for good reason. And now that they have 5th edition, it's got a surge of popularity, so people are like, okay, this is playable again. But back in 3.5, which was the common edition before 4th came out, they decided to do a thing wherein they put a the Pathfinder, the group at Paizo said, hey, what if we publish one that's pretty much just like 3.5 edition, but with all the serial numbers filed off. And since Dungeons & Dragons isn't producing materials for 3.5 anymore because they really want to push 4, it'll get all the people who are rage quitting Dungeons & Dragons something else to play that they'll really like and be familiar with, and then we can reap profit and also do our own thing. So, they did. And now they've introduced Pathfinder 2nd edition, which is in a similar vein, but slightly different, and they've tweaked a few things here and there, and it's apparently quite nice, although it doesn't scale particularly well. From what I hear, I don't know. I've never played. I've been watching a campaign, but I've never played it myself. I tend to stick to 1st edition for the sole reason that I have the core rulebook, like a physical copy. And I really like having physical copies of things. This is my go-to. And it's very exciting stuff. So I've been anti-plant. Okay, that's kind of bizarre, but it's a 4th level druid spell. Sorry, sometimes if I'm paging through the rulebook, I'll find something really cool and I want to share it with you guys. It's a 10-foot radius centered on you. Minute per level. So if you're 4th level druid spells, that's at least 10 minutes, I'm pretty sure. Well, at least 6 minutes, anyway. No saving throw. Creates an invisible mobile barrier that keeps all creatures within the shell protected from attacks by plant creatures or animated plants. So I guess if you were, as with many abjuration spells, forcing the barrier against creatures that the spell keeps at bay drains and collapses the field. So the I guess if you're being attacked by animated plants, this is a good one to have in your back pocket. However, if you have to prep your spells ahead of time and you don't know you're going to be attacked by animated plants, it's a little specific. Kind of cool, though, I'm not going to lie. Animate robe, animate objects. But what we're going to do is go to Paladin section. And look at some of the class features and note down what they do. We also need to pick feats for this guy. We also need skills for this guy. He doesn't have proportionally very many skill slots, but he only has 57 skill points, which seems like a lot, but he's level 20. So that's less than 3 per level. And that's with the extra bonus ones, because he has low intelligence. Well, no, he has a 10 intelligence, but he had a 9 intelligence until he buffed it, so a few of his let's take a turn. He only gets 1 skill point per level for the first 3 levels or so. Yeah, it's a lot. So, oh yeah, 1 per level, that's why. Alright. I'm just double checking the math in my head. Because I thought I was straight for so long, I'm actually really better at math than I, yeah. Facts. Okay, so, let's look at the class features, write down what we need to note down. I left 2 blank pages in the notebook, for more notes. And then moved on to Ziel, who's a completely different character for a completely different universe. But, if you were in the stream last time, you would recognize me having built him, but yeah, and please do say hi in the chat. I really appreciate it. But yeah, okay, let's look at Paladin. So, here. Through a select worthy few shines the power of the divine. Called Paladins, these noble souls dedicate their swords and lives to the battle against evil. Knights, crusaders, and lawbringers, Paladins seek not just to spread divine justice and embody the teachings of the virtuous deities they serve. Not just to spread divine justice, but to embody the teachings of the virtuous deities they serve. In pursuit of their lofty goals, they adhere to ironclad laws of morality and discipline. As a reward for their righteousness, these holy champions are blessed with the boons to aid them in their quests, powers to banish evil, heal the innocent, and inspire the faithful. Although their convictions might lead them into conflict with the very souls they would save, Paladins weather endless challenges of faith and dark temptations, risking their lives to do right and fighting to bring about a better future. Paladins serve as beacons for their allies within the chaos of battle. While deadly opponents of evil, they can also empower goodly souls to aid in their crusades. Their magic and martial skills also makes them well suited to defending others and blessing the fallen with the strength to continue fighting. Have to be lawful good or it doesn't work. And you get a d10 hit die. And we rolled hit points last time. So, I also need a name for him. The Hyrith, the closest cultural parallel to our world is France, so I'm giving them kind of Hyrithian names tend to be things like Claude or André or Ethel or Henri, stuff like that. So, if you have any suggestions on names, put them in the chat because I'm not so good at names and I do need help occasionally. Sorry. Okay, we got class skills. So probably diplomacy. And he probably has really high diplomacy, I'm guessing. And intimidation, maybe. Okay. Okay, so we have an aura of good. So basically, if anyone casts Detect Good he'll shine like a beacon. Because, yeah. Jean Emile? That's a name. Alright, I might give him that name if nobody comes up with a better one. But, one cycle, 80 days. Alright. Let's see what we get. Ooh, at second level, Paladin gains a bonus equal to her charisma bonus on all saving throws. So, charisma bonus is +4. So, +4 to all saving throws. That's a nice little perk right there from Abadar. Lay on hands. Beginning at second level, Paladin can heal wounds. Or one of those of others by touch. Each day, use the ability a number of times equal to half Paladin level plus charisma modifier. So, yeah, it's slightly different than the 5th edition version. I know a lot of people are more familiar with 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons version of Cure Wounds, where you have a certain number of hit points, determined by level, that you can dole out as you see fit to whoever might be around. So I think it's like 20, and then you can do it as all at once with 20 hit points to somebody, or you can do 21 hit point pops to different people as a sort of souped up version of Spare the Dying. But Paladin can just randomly also detect evil. So if there's anyone evil afoot, they give off bad vibes, and Paladin knows. Okay, so I don't know why I wrote that down. Hit points. Lay on hands. Here we go. We're gonna put this. All right, we're gonna put. I'm trying to think the best. Okay. From class features. Because we're going to have to write down the mercies and all these other stuff. So we're going to start with lay on hands. Also he's going to have mount because that's going to be a tricky thing, because paladins get at 5th level one of two things. They either get power to make their weapon, to soup up the weapon and make it magical, no matter what kind of weapon it is, or the power to summon a mount and dismiss it to the celestial realm, which is handy. Okay, so let me look at this again. Number of times equal to half paladin level plus charisma modifier, so that's 14 times per day. And or damage to undead creatures. They need a free hand though, so you can't be carrying a shield and or. Although I wonder. 1d6 for every 2 paladin levels. 1d6 for every 2 paladin levels. So 20, that's 10. 10d6. A standard action. Swift action if it's on yourself. 1 free hand to use this ability. I wonder if you can cast it. See, now I'm thinking the DM, like, can you cast it? How would you rule if player wanted to cast it with, like, a head bump? Or a... Like, does it just have to be skin-to-skin contact? Or does it have to be hands specifically? That is, Interesting question. I mean, if you're like half asleep and the rogue comes in bleeding because they were out doing something stupid, can you reach forward and like put your foot out down on top of them, cast lay on hands through your foot because you're sleeping with your boots off, and then keep them pinned under your feet while you demand an explanation as to why they were sneaking around in the middle of the night. Something like that. I mean, I'd rule you could as a DM, but I know probably some DMs wouldn't. These are the kind of things you think about when you're creating characters. Okay, yes, so it is 14 times per day, it's 10d6. So basically just grab them, do 10d6 points of healing. 14 times per day, 10d6, okay. Divine Grace, we'll get back to that. Aura of Courage. Mercies. Oh, yes, the Mercies. Channel Polity, Aura of Justice, Aura of Resolve, immune to... Okay. Ooh, that's a tricky thing. So, you get this ability to smite evil, right? I'm going to put all the auras together, but... at 11th level, Paladin can spend 2 uses of the Smite Evil ability to grant the ability to smite evil to all allies within 10 feet using your bonus. Allies must use the Smite Evil ability at the start of the Paladin's next turn, and bonus lasts for 1 minute. Using this ability is a free action. Evil creatures gain no benefit from this ability. 14th level, treated are good aligned. If you have to overcome damage or distance, and you can only be damaged by good things. Oh. Any attack made against an enemy within 10 feet is considered good aligned. Or of Righteousness, 7th level gains damage resistance of 5 to evil, and immunity to compulsion spells and spell-like abilities. Each ally within 10 feet also gains a +4 morale bonus to saving throws against compulsion. While the paladin is conscious. /20th level. I need to read up. I need to double check that that's that it's DR, that the damage reduction gets it's DR to evil, or is it resistant to evil, or is it resistant to everything except evil? Worth knowing. At 20th level, Paladin becomes a conduit of power for God. DR increases to 10 evil. That's pretty good. Whenever it uses the outsider is also subject to banishment. Oh wow, that is pretty cool. Sorry. Okay. And that's the code of conduct. Okay, so... Oh, spells. Here we go. Beginning at 4th level, gain a small number of divine spells, which are drawn from the Paladin spell list and presented in Chapter 10. Must choose and prepare spells in advance. Charisma score of at least 10 plus the spell level. So, with 18 charisma, so up to 18. Channel positive energy with 2 uses of as the effective cleric level. Your own level is your effective cleric. Okay, Divine Bond. This is the... Okay. So... Okay. So... Third level paladin is immune to all diseases. Okay, lay on hands. Okay, so I'm going to expend 2 to channel positive energy. So we can expend 2 uses to channel positive energy. Okay, so I have to check effective cleric level. What does that do? So I have to go and look up what channel positive energy does, because it's simply effective cleric level. So what that does is Spire, okay, that's bardic stuff. Clerics, here we go. Spells, spontaneous casting, can cast healing spells spontaneously, which is really useful. Domains. Holy. The energy we can use to cause or heal damage depending on the type of energy channel the creature targeted. A good cleric channels positive energy and can choose to deal damage to undead or heal living creatures. An evil cleric channels negative energy and can choose to deal damage to living creatures or heal undead creatures. A neutral cleric must choose whether to channel positive or negative, which also determines whether you're spontaneously curing or spontaneously causing wounds. And it affects all creatures of one type, either undead or living, in a 30-foot radius centered on the cleric. Is 1d6 plus 1d6 points of damage for every 2 cleric levels beyond first, which is 20. So essentially is effective cleric level is 20. So it's 10d6 for essentially it reaches 10d6 because it's effective cleric level, and that's an effective cleric level of 10d6. So and it has to be good because paladins have to be lawful good. They can't be evil the way clerics could if they worship an evil deity. So expand 2 uses to everyone in a 30-foot radius to either heal all living or damage all undead. Boom. That's pretty cool. So alright. So that's channel energy, divine help. So immune to all poisons and diseases. Just all diseases, not poison. Only monks are immune to poison. Although monk paladin multiclass would be both immune to diseases and to poison. I'm not sure if monks are immune to diseases. So like a paladin of Aurora, who also took monk levels, which makes sense because Aurora's favored weapon was the bare fist. And immune to diseases and poisons, which would be extremely powerful. Yeah, now, of course, this is what happens. I start with one character and start describing their abilities, and then I'm getting distracted by other interesting things that I want to share with you guys. Okay. Mercies. 3rd level. Alright. Essentially, Um. Mm-hmm. Um. Um. Each morning add an effect to the paladin's lay on hand ability. So, what you could do is, if you do lay on hands, I don't know if it transfers to channel energy. That would have to be a DM call. But, to heal damage, the target also receives additional effects from all of the mercies possessed by the paladin. Mercy can remove a condition caused by a curse, disease, or poison without curing the affliction. Such conditions return after 1 hour unless the mercy actually removes the affliction. Let's see. So, fatigued, shaken, sickened. Alright, so can every 3 levels thereafter. So, 1 at 3rd, 1 at 6th. Okay, it also acts as remove disease and fatigued. Okay. Is it exactly 0 hit points? But they won't be at 0 hit points after you apply lay on hands, so it wouldn't matter, right? So actually that would be a useful thing to add. Okay, so mercies. I'm gonna say sickened. Staggered. Diseased. 6, 9, 12. Okay, so we have 6. We have 6 mercies. So we gotta write which 6 mercies we've got. Oh, and then we have to write an explanation of Smite Evil. That would be useful. Also, how it works. It works slightly differently than it does in 5th edition, and it is also very useful, but not at, you have to be, basically I think the target has to be evil. You can't use it on any foe. And there are other restrictions, but it can be quite effective when used correctly, so. Ooh. So, fatigued, exhausted, poisoned. I'm gonna do maybe that. Remove disease. Okay, so we're gonna go with fatigued. Exhaustion, because that allows you to remove exhaustion. Exhausted. Poisoned. Paralyzed. Okay. So, this is where it comes down to this. So, okay. Sorry, I should probably give a better explanation for this. Whenever you gain 3 levels, so you go the first at 3rd level, the next one at 6th, next one at 9th, the next one at 12th, the next one at 15th, the next one at 18th, you gain what's called a mercy. Now, what the mercies allows you to do is cure conditions like fatigued, staggered, diseased, exhausted, poisoned, and paralyzed. These are the ones our guy can cure. and along with healing damage. And you can use all of them, so if you're both poisoned and paralyzed, it cures both the poison and the paralysis. And heals 10d6 damage, because they stack. And curing exhaustion is, like, clutch. It's an incredibly useful thing. Yeah. Okay. So, we got this, we got the Mercies, we've got the Lay on Hands, we've, how much damage, we got the Channel Wind, and we got the Immune to all diseases. Smite Evil, I think, is next. Let's go. Divine Bond, we're going to have to figure this out at some point, and I think maybe this, depending on what we want to do. Smite Evil, here we go. Once per day, Paladin can call out the powers of the good to aid her in a struggle against evil. As a swift action, the Paladin can choose one target within sight to smite. Okay. So you pick one target. If the target is evil, the Paladin adds charisma bonus to the attack rolls and adds Paladin level to damage rolls. If the target is an outsider with the evil subtype, an evil line dragon, or undead creature, the bonus to damage on the first successful attacks increases to 2 points of damage per level the Paladin possesses for the first attack, if it's one of those special ones. Rather than target's might evil attacks automatically bypass any damage resistance. Ooh, that's nice. Additional smite evil is an effect. Paladin gains deflection bonus equal to charisma modifier to the AC against attacks made by the target of the smite. If Paladin targets a creature that is not evil, the smite is wasted and no effect. Smite evil remains effective until the target is smite are dead. The next time Paladin rests and regains the use of the ability at 4th level and every 3 Paladin's level after. Paladins may use smite evil 1 additional time per day, as indicated on table 311, for a maximum of 7 times per day. So we get 7 per day because of the high up level. Alright. I'm gonna if the creature is evil, we get what do we get? Let's see. Swift action. If the creature is evil, we get charisma bonus to, so charisma bonus is +4, so it's +4 to attack. Con level to all damage rolls. So that's 20 plus 20 damage. Roll rolls. If outsider, dragon, or undead, plus 40 damage on first successful attack. Beautiful. And then The Aura of Righteousness means we can burn the Smite Evils to give all the allies ability. I'll double check what that does in a minute. I'm sorry, this is very, very tasty popcorn, and I'm very easily distracted by food. Bypass. Automatic bypass damage resistance. +4 AC against target. Opponent creature. This creature is no evil. Is wasted. Dang, that sucks. But you know what? That's okay. So, now, if we look here to Aura of Resolve, no, that's Aura of Faith. Aura of Righteousness, 17th level. No. Aura of Justice, here we go. Grant all allies within 10 feet one round lasting 1 minute. Yeah, so basically all your allies can just smite whoever they happen to be fighting. So that's Smite Evil. That's that one. What else we got? Divine Bond Auras. Code of Conduct, which is they have to. You're not supposed to work with evil people. And you can lose all your paladin powers if you are not good enough in the eyes of your god. True story. That's interesting. What was I gonna say? Wow, okay. I am very not focused. I'm very sorry. So auras. We're going with auras, and we're going to spells, and then Divine Bond. We're going to write down the spell slots. Then we're going to figure out the Divine Bond, and then so Aura of Courage. To Fear. Ally within 10 feet is a +4. Get a +4. To saving throws against fear. So courage, that's what Aura of Courage does. We got Divine Health, Mercies, we got Shannon's Positive Spells, we'll go back to that. Divine Bond, we'll go back to that. Resolve, okay. So you're immune to... So he's immune to charm spells and spell-like abilities. And your allies within 10 feet get a +4 to the saving throw. I mean, 10 feet isn't that much. All right. That's Aura of Resolve. We got Aura of Justice, which is the ability to grant allies smite evil, which we already got. Then Aura of Righteousness. All right. What do we got? Righteousness. So against evil. I wonder if that the also giving it to your enemies can also make them vanish. Now that's an interesting question. Did the always does full damage for full healing for and channel energy. Okay. Oh no, that's Holy Champion. Oh, that's never mind. That's Holy Champion. We have to redo it. Okay, sorry, I misread that, but that's okay. Because he also gets that. How do you spell righteousness? That isn't right. Yo. I was one letter off. Okay. Actual, immunity to immunity to compulsion spells and +4 to all allies. Within 10 feet. Okay. see, this is where we get all this stuff. Okay, so there's that. Now, spells. We got skills, spells, feats. We got a lot of things. Okay. I wouldn't use bluff anyway. So spell slots. We get, we get 4. All right, how much? Okay, yeah, we get extra bonuses because of high. No extra cantrips. We get bonuses. We don't no cantrips, which is annoying, but you know. We get bonuses for high charisma. So as an 18 charisma, you get bonus first level, bonus second level, bonus third level, and a bonus fourth level. So 1 extra spell of each type, because we only get up to 4th level spells. Alright, so 5 first levels. Then we get 5 second levels. Then 4 third levels and 4 fourth levels. Okay, so we got some spell slots. That's pretty good. Okay. That's our. Okay, so we got spells, which we bumped back. 14 charisma, which you can pass. I love that. Okay, so we are going to do, so we get Divine Bond, we got the spells, we got the Smite Aura, the Mercy, extra Mercies, Auras, Aura of Faith. Oh, we forgot Aura of Faith. Okay, that's why we do double checks. Okay, Aura of Faith. Okay, and that's the whole champion bonuses. Let's go. Let's draw this line here, then we'll put Faith there. That'll be fine. Okay, Aura of Faith. Weapons are treated as good lined. And any attack made against an enemy in 10 feet is also considered good lined, right? Is also considered as such. I have a hot mess of notes right now. Well, I think we're doing pretty well. So we got Aura of Faith, Aura of Resolve, Aura of Justice, Aura of Faith, Aura of Righteousness, Whole Champion. Alright, so what we got, only thing we haven't gotten down yet, we got all the Mercies picked, we got Divine Grace, we got Hands. Courage we put down. Untitled diseases, yes. Aura of good. We put that on the other one, so. Oh yes, detect evil. Alright, let's put that, we'll put that here for margins. This is why. Paladin can concentrate on an object as a move action and determine whether it's evil or not. And determine if it is evil. Or not. A 60-foot range. And what we have to do, you go and concentrate. Okay. We also figure out what kind of weapons and armor he has, and which will inform AC, and also another number of other things. Figures out strength if concentrate. Is maintained for 3 rounds. Okay. Now, well, there we go. Oh, we still haven't picked out feats and skills for this guy. I'm going to do that, or start on that, and then get back to Divine Bond, because that's a kind of decision I really would like to have some input on, and no one is here now, but hopefully next time. We'll see. Hopefully. Feats, here we go. Here's an interesting question. Cleric spontaneously casting Cure and inflict spells do it spontaneously can cast a meta magic version instead. Extra time spells required. In this case, casting spells is a standard action. Meta magic spells spontaneously. Full round action. Spells longer. Last time to take an extra action. The only exception is Quicken Spell. Because Quicken Spell. Alright. 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 That's interesting. So clerics can meta magic cure wounds. If they want to, by using a higher spell slot. which I think is kind of cool. I don't know if yeah, but that's it's an interesting thing. Okay, probably won't end up with any meta magic feats. Paladin didn't still get any bonus feats, and he doesn't get any bonus feats because he's not fully human. But okay, I'm gonna give. No, it doesn't get that. So, we're gonna go with combat reflexes. That's a good. It's a good start for, you know. All right, then we do extra lay on hands. Two additional times per day, which is one extra channel. So it's 16 times per day because we have the extra feat, which is always useful. Yeah, there are a lot of really good feats in Pathfinder. So I'm biased in what feats I tend to choose for characters, I admit. But and we only get 10, so improved initiative. There's one. About expertise, which allows you to trade attack bonus for AC bonus, which is armor proficiency. Already gets the proficiency from the acrobatics. Alignment channel. Or you can do some interesting things with channel energy. And I think as a paladin, it counts as a class feature, so you can do that. Animal affinity. Well, this is where it gets tricky, because do I want to give him the mount? And if we do, then having that will be very helpful. If not, let's go, let's see. There's one I kind of want to give him. I could give him leadership, but honestly, it's already the head of the, whatever, lightning reflexes. Magical aptitude, martial weapon proficient, well, master. Ooh, if you take that, you can craft magic weapons without being a spellcaster. Natural spell is very important for druids, but nimble moves. Oh, persuasive. Yes, that is that's the one. It's +2 bonus on diplomacy and intimidate checks, and I feel like someone who is such a leader, the leader of something, would definitely have that kind of vibe. So persuasive. That's important. We're gonna do skills next. Mounted combat? Well, that's the question is do we give him... Definitely not. Trade the attack bonus for damage. That's cleaving. Cleave is a very useful one if you... Shield proficiency, shield focus, simple weapons. I already got spell. Stealth, you know. We could go down to 2-weapon fighting. But as Paladin Abadar, he's probably... Well, what's Abadar's weapon of choice? That's... Vital Strike is a good one. Weapons Finesse is useless because he has high strength. Weapons... weapons focus on that. Then we got the meta magics, empower, enlarge, extend, heighten, maximize, quicken, silent, still, and widen. Fortunately, channel divinity is not a spell, so you couldn't, because that would be a handy thing to have. Alright. But we could do dodge. Do we have high enough dex? We do, just barely, but we do have high enough dex for dodge. Which allows you to do some fun things. We don't need any of this. Doesn't really need that. I mean, we don't really need any of the catch off guard. Combat casting. That's a pretty useful feat. So it's +4 on concentration checks. That is a very useful thing. I mean, I don't know how many spells in the Paladin spell list use that, but sorry, I have a small fish here, and it's very distracting. It's a very good fish. My bestest streaming buddy. Okay, so we're gonna, let's see. We're gonna take endurance, which extra points against non-lethal damage, and basically it allows you to take auto stabilization called Die Hard. So if you hit 0 hit points, you're not automatically unconscious, which is very, very, very clutch, and I try to give it to all my characters. Endurance is the bonus feat for that. It means you can sleep in medium armor. That is, which I think includes chainmail. So, of course, that'll be heck on the yeah. So it's not as protective as plate mail, but it's still hell on the armor check penalties to do anything. So that's, you know. Unlike 5th edition, which just gives you disadvantage on dex-based stuff if you have heavy armor. Pathfinder 1st edition has a gradated scale of the penalties for heavy armor. So it starts with studded leather, gives you a -1. And then it goes all the way up to plate mail, which gives like a -10. On all stealth checks, on all strength checks, on all athletics, any strength-based checks, climbing, swimming, anything like that, which makes sense given that it's freaking heavy armor. But it does kind of create a cost-benefit analysis of whether you want the extra protection. Okay. So we got combat reflexes. I'm going to go with standstill. That's a good one. That means you can force foes that you hit with an attack opportunity to, well, stop and not move. The way I like to explain it is it's that, I know making comparison to 5th edition is not exactly vogue, but I would say it is the closest equivalent of Sentinel with the 5th edition feat. Still got 4 left. So we could go down in Pathfinder 1st edition especially. What you have is these feat trees that allow you to do different things. They're feats that have prerequisites, so you can get a bunch of different feats. As long as you have the first feat as a prerequisite, and then some of the feats require multiple feats as a prerequisite, so they're like farther down the tree, as it were. So in picking early feats, it's kind of an interesting thing of that if you want the feats later on, you're going to have to go for the feats higher up in the tree as well. You know? I know it sounds crazy, but I'm going to give him the improved unarmed strike, which sounds kind of silly, but it's the feat tree thing, right? Because I find this idea just kind of cool, and I think he would as well. So we're going to go with improved unarmed strike. So it can do things like deflect arrows. And, he has to have Dex 15 to do snatch arrows. But you know what? Avoid one ranged attack per round. So he can dodge arrows, basically. He does not have enough dexterity to get the next feat on the tree, which is snatch arrows. Ooh, +2 bonus on grapple attempts. We'll go with that instead. So, deflect arrows allows to avoid one ranged, so he doesn't have a high enough dex to get snatch arrow, which means you can catch them out of the air, but has high enough dex for deflect arrow. So one attack, ranged attack per round, he can just kind of duck out of the way. Which is kind of cool. We also get, I'm going to go with improved grapple and greater grapple. Which basically allow him to, let's see, Dex 13, which we have. It's a +2 bonus on grapple attempts and no attack of opportunity. And then maintaining your grapple as a move action, as opposed to a standard action. So you can actually attack as well with that in place, which is pretty cool. Alright. I think this is pretty good. Alright. This is a nice list of feats. I'm going to put the skills over here. So we didn't put any mounted combat feats, which would lead us to lean away from having a mount as the divine bond. But alright, first thing we gotta do is figure out alright, so base attack bonus is, let's look up, we're gonna copy these from the chart. Ranger, PQR, yes, so Paladins, here we go. Ooh, we get 4 attacks per round, which is kind of clutch. So 4 attacks per round, with +20, +15, +10, and +5. So that's pretty cool. So reflect, fortitude is, so it's +1 and +12 and then +4 It's plus 12. Does it? Hang on, let me. Oh, right. It's only a plus 4 because charisma bonus, and so if you didn't have charisma bonus, you wouldn't be able to do any of that. That's why it doesn't get affected. Okay. This makes sense. It's only plus 4 because charisma. Plus 4 added. So 4 is 12 plus 5 is 17. Reflex is plus 6, but also plus 1. So that's plus 5 because it's a plus 1 plus 4. So plus 5. So that's an 11. Okay, that's not bad. And then will saves. Will save is 12. That's 15. Plus another 4 is 19. Okay. So that's 19. That's not bad at all. Okay. All right. And we're gonna do skills. This is so diplomacy. Essentially, he gets intimidation. Is there any? He gets very few skills, so we're gonna have to pick carefully. Feats, equipment. Should be somewhere around here. Is this skill? Here we go. Skills. Disguise, no. Stealth, no. Also have to figure out what kind of equipment he has, and okay, so we have diplomacy, obviously. I would say climb and swim. Intimidation, climb and swim. We're going with ride, heal, that's 7. Okay. And perception. And knowledge religion. Yep. Perception and knowledge religion. Anything else? Well, knowledge history, I think, too, because okay. So 15, 10, and 10. 15 plus 15 is 30. 10 and 50. All right. 30. And then I have 27 divided by 4. No. Okay. So I'm going to go with 2 each. in climb and swim. And 1 in handle animal. That's 5. Then 12. Alright, hang on. Ride, heal, and perception is 4 each. Which is... that brings that down to... that brings that down to 17 altogether, right? 5 plus 4, 17. Which that brings down to 60. Divided by 4 is 15, right? No, 50. No, it's 40, so 10 each. Okay. But... so we have 40 to put among 4, which is 10 each. So 15, I'd say 10 for intimidation. So that's 25 plus 5 plus 15. So, and then 10 for and 5 for that. Okay. That works that way. Okay. So it's more well-rounded, because it doesn't get a lot of skill points, so we have to be careful with them. That's okay. You know? So diplomacy. Alright, now we have to look at what skills our paladin class skills, which is not many, because paladins don't bards, classes, that's clerics. And then next we'll sorcerer, ranger, paladin should be just before. Yes, okay. Class skills, here we go. Diplomacy. So that is a class skill. So we do get +3. Is intimidation a class skill? Knowledge and nobility is. Not knowledge, history. Or intimidation. Okay, so that's a +0 for the intimidation, and then +4, and then gives us +2, and then +2. Climb is no. Neither climb nor swim are. So that's just +0, +0, +4, +4. Ride is okay. But that's so it is. That's a +3, and then Dex is the +1. Heal is yes. Okay, so that's +3, and then Wisdom, that's +3. Handle animal is charisma, and is a class skill. I always feel like it should be wisdom, but that's just me. Perception, also wisdom, and also is a class skill. It is not, so that's +3. Then knowledge religion is a class skill, but knowledge history is not. Knowledge ability, but he doesn't have knowledge ability. He's not got knowledge history. Yes, that's gonna serve him badly, but you know what? Knowledge with +3, that's +0. Intelligence is another +0, so you know, not great. But we have a set of skills for this guy. Now, I'm going to go try something. Let me look here, half a sec. Thank you for joining me. I always appreciate. And it looks like Kayla is not. Let me see. Time Lord's wife is offline. Let me check one thing. Yes, casting. All right. So we're doing that, and this, and ooh, hey. All right. Well, so we're not going to be able to stream into Kayla if she's not going to come in. I don't know what to do about that. So, I do have to get to work. So I'm ending the stream at 3. Thank you for joining me for our little chat, for creating. We still need a name. So Thursday we're going to do a late night session. It's going to be Warhammer 40k. It's going to be a lot of fun. Trust me, it's going to be awesome sauce. So yeah. Yeah, Thursday night it's going to be late night. It's going to be like 11 p.m. or close to midnight, depending on when I get home. Because it depends on which bus I catch and if I can catch the connecting bus, etc., etc. As such, it's going to be late night. We're going to do the this, that, and the other thing. You know. So that's Thursday. That's tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, on Friday, that's the day after, I'm going to do one, another one of these. Another Pathfinder-y. It's going to be earlier in the day, but we're going to do another Pathfinder, and we're going to finish off this guy. I think Jean-Emile was the name I was thinking of, but we're going to finish him up. That's tentative name. If someone has a better suggestion in the chat, I am really excited to hear it. Yeah, so we're going to have that. We're going to have some fun times. And I really do hope you guys come and join me. I know the time is a little weird because I'm working when most people are off. But okay, good to know. So I'm not going to raid into any because I specifically planned to raid in Kayla and she's not on, but so thank you so much for joining me. And all that jazz. And I will see you later, whenever you get a chance. I really appreciate it. Thank you.